Good morning, family and friends. I'm going to talk to you starting this week's message or today's message. God can use leftovers. John 6:12 through 13 reads thusly: When they were filled, he said to his disciple, gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. Therefore they gathered them together and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves, which remained over and above unto them that had eaten. Now there are certain holidays that occur, and we're blessed to sit down with family and friends and enjoy a huge and delicious meal. The culinary experts in our family leave nothing to the imagination, and they usually prepare more food than is necessary for one meal. And for those of you who, like me, grew up in a home where silver spoons were not in our mouths, those leftover items became meals repurposed in another fashion. Leftover roast beef became corned beef hash. And those items were steeped in gravy and served with grits or rice and made to stretch. Our mothers and our grandmothers had degrees in DOL. They were doctors of leftovers. There is no more appropriate biblical passage that deals with leftovers more vividly and benevolently than John's account of the great miracle of the loaves and the fish. In this miracle, we learn the truth about Christ's compassion and his power and his concern for human need. And not only that, his ability to deal with the need. See, it's one thing to be concerned about the need. It's another thing to do something about the need. Many of us declare we want to be Christ-like, but we look over the leftovers. We learn from Jesus here that leftovers have worth. Leftovers aren't to be thrown out. I've run across some people who say, I don't eat leftovers. Throw it away. But it's a waste. Do you realize that we can always create something new out of what was yesterday? You don't believe me? Look in the mirror and see what God has done for you. He's taken your leftovers and created something brand new. Jesus shows the disciples that leftovers have worth, that scraps are often a blessing, and that God can multiply little into much. But there's something else here. Let's look more closely at the story of the 5 loaves and 2 fish, and we have to admit that too often we give up too easily without giving Jesus a chance. We don't give him a chance to act in our lives because we see that we only have 5 loaves and 2 fish. So how can we accomplish what we hope to accomplish? And so we just throw in the towel before we give Jesus a chance. Father, Master, there's only a lad here with 2 fish and 5 barley loaves. How are we going to feed the multitude with that? They didn't know that with little God makes much. Now, before we get down on the disciples, we have the same negative traits. We conclude that nothing can be done for us. Nothing can be done in our lives. That even in this situation, nothing could be done for all the hungry people in the valley that day. In fact, the disciples told Jesus to send the people away because there is no food, there is no money, and the journey back to town is a long one. It is utterly ridiculous for us as Christians to believe that there is a situation, any situation, that my God cannot handle. But that's exactly what the disciples did. Send them away. We have no food. We have no money. We do the same thing to Jesus. It's too big for us. We think our problems are too big for him to handle. Well, I stopped by to tell you, there is no problem too big for God. No matter how overwhelming they can be, we should declare, pass me not, O gentle Savior. While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by. He can take your problems and turn them into promise. God makes use of our leftovers. God can use our leftovers. So when you feel like all you have is leftovers, it's not enough to get the job done, I need you to understand that your life is more than 2 fish and 5 barley loaves. Our Father owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. He can do anything but fail. So there's no such thing as impossible for God. God can use our leftovers. God bless and God keep you.